Hello guys and welcome back to Dimension 3D where we are going to model this quad blaster inside Blender, and you can download this model for free. The link is given below in the description. So now let's start the tutorial. So first let me bring up the reference image here. You can download this reference image from the link given below in the description as well. So now I will take a cylinder here and I will go on to face mode and delete these faces here, and I will just match it with the reference. I'll select this edge here and rotate it a bit. And now I will duplicate it and move it up and scale it -1 on the Z axis. And I will just match it with the reference. I'll select these vertices and scale it down a bit on the Z axis. Now select both the parts here and just join them using Ctrl J, and then go on to edge mode and select these edges here and press F to bridge them. Now I will just scale it on the Y axis a bit. Now duplicate this part and scale it on the Z axis to -1 and just match it with the reference here. Now select these vertices and move it up a bit and scale it on the Z axis as well. Now I'll select this vertex here and I will just turn on the vertex snap first and then hold Ctrl to snap it here. I will do the same here as well. And I will just delete this edge here. Now coming back to front view, I will select these vertices here and scale it on the Y axis a bit. Now I will add a edge loop here using Ctrl R, and I will select these vertices and scale it on the X axis to 0 to make it straight. And now I will select these vertices and move it up a bit first. And then I will just slide these vertices using Shift V. Now select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it. Now go on to face mode and extrude it along the normals. And now I'll select these faces and just move it a bit. I will add one more edge loop here in the middle, and I will just move these vertices to match it with that line. Now I'll select these edges here and extrude it outside on the x-axis, and select these vertices and move it up a bit, and I will just match it with the reference here. Now select these edges here and extrude it again on the x-axis all the way to the end, and then select these vertices and move it up, and now I will add edge loops here and match it with the reference. Now I will select these edges here and press F to bridge them, and then I will select these edges here as well and bridge them. Now I will select this edge loop here and deselect these edges here and bridge these edges first, and then select this edge here and press F to bridge them, and then delete the extra edge there, and I will do the same here as well. Now I will take the knife tool here, and by holding C I will make a cut here and press enter to make the cut, and I will scale it on the Z axis to 0 to make it straight, and again from this point I will take the knife tool and cut it by holding down C. Now I'll just merge these vertices here. Now select the edge loop here and then add a bevel to it, and now I'll just have to adjust these vertices a bit. Now select these faces here and extrude it along the normals. Now coming back to this part, I will add a solidify modifier to it, and I will also apply the scale here and increase the thickness a bit. Now select this edge loop here and extrude it and scale it. Now coming back to this part again, I will apply the solidify modifier here and select this faces here and delete it. Now select this edge loop here and just press F to fill the hole, and I will do the same on inside as well. Now take a new cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degree and place it here just as in the reference image. I will select these two parts and scale it on the y-axis a bit. Now select these two cylinders here and press Ctrl J to join them and go on to face mode, and here I will just insert it and extrude it inside, and again insert it and again extrude it inside, and I will insert it again, and this time I will extrude it outside first. And now I will apply one more insert here and extrude it inside again. Now let's make this part here. So take a cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degree. Now go into face mode here and I will select these faces here and just delete it. Now I'll scale it down a bit. And I will delete this face as well. Now select this edge here and extrude it on the Z axis. And I will select these vertices here and scale it on the Y axis a bit. Now select this edge here and bridge them, and select this edge loop here and press F to fill here. And now I will just duplicate this part and scale it on the X axis and place it here, and I will just scale it a bit. Now I will select this vertex and move it down, and I will scale it on the Z axis as well, just to match it with the reference there. Now take a new cylinder and rotate it to 90 degree and place it here. And I will just match it with the reference here. and I will just duplicate this part and move it up. Make sure these two points are close to each other. Now select both the part and press Ctrl J to join them, and then select these faces and delete it. Now go into vertex mode here and select these vertices here and just merge them. Now select this edge here and add a bevel to it, and select these edge loops here and just fill them. Now I will add one more edge loop here and another edge loop here. And I will just add a bevel to it and then go into face mode, and I will extrude them along the normals. And I will just scale these two parts a bit on the y-axis. I will just delete this part and make it from a new cylinder. Now select these faces and delete it, and go into vertex mode and just match it with the reference here. Now select these two edges here and extrude it on the Z axis, and then just fill these areas here. Now I will scale it on the Y axis. Now I will just duplicate this part and move it here and make this part as well. I will just scale it up a bit. So now let's make this part here. Take a new cylinder and rotate it to 90 degree and just match it with the reference here. I will select these faces and delete it, and then select these two edges here and extrude it along the Z axis, and then just fill these areas. Now I will take another cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degree again and just match it with the reference. I will apply the scale here and then go on to edge mode and add a bevel to this edge. You can see here there's a small bevel here. and I will add another bevel here as well, and I will increase the number of segments. Now I'll just duplicate this part and move it here and scale it to -1 on x-axis. Now select these two parts and join them using Ctrl J, and then go into face mode and select these faces and bridge them. Now I will add 4 edge loops here and add a bevel to it. Now select these faces here. Make sure you apply the scale first and then extrude it along the normals. And I will change the pivot point here to individual origins and scale them along the x-axis to 0. And go into vertex mode and just merge them by distance and increase the value a bit. Now select these edge loops here and add a bevel to it and increase the number of segments a bit. I'll just recalculate the normals here by pressing Shift N. Now take a new cylinder here and again rotate it to 90 degree and just match it with the reference here. I'll take a edge loop here and scale it up a bit and add a bevel to it. And we forgot to model this part here, so I will take one more edge loop here and another edge loop here and then select these faces and extrude it along the normals, and then I will add 4 edge loops here and then bevel it. Now go into face mode and select these faces here. And just extrude it along the normals. Make sure your pivot point is on individual origins and scale it on the x-axis to 0 and go into vertex mode and merge them. Now select this edge loops here and add a bevel to it. And I will add one more edge loop here and another edge loop here and add a bevel to it, and then go into face mode and extrude these faces along the normals. Now I will take one more cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degree. And scale it down and just match it with the reference again. Now I'll select this face and extrude it and scale it down a bit. And again extrude it and scale it down a bit. And once more I will extrude it. And then I will add edge loops here and select this edge loop here and scale it up a bit. Apply the scale here and then select this edge loop and add a bevel to it. And select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it as well. Now for this part it is extruded inside, so I will just go back here and select this face and make an insert here and then extrude it inside. and again I will make an insert here and extrude it inside, and now I will make an insert again and extrude it outside this time, and then I will just bevel these edges here. Now I will take a new cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degree and place it here. And I will just delete these faces here, and so this part is going to be same just like the top part we have made earlier. So I will just fast forward the video here, otherwise this video will become too long. Now select this edge loop here, and instead of extrude and scaling it, I will just press F to fill the area here, and then select these vertices here and press J to join them. Now let's make these two part here. Take a cylinder and just match it with the reference. Now select this edge loop here and make sure you apply the scale first and apply a bevel to it. And now go on to face mode and extrude it along the normals. Now I will add two more edge loops here. And add a bevel to it, and then go on to face mode and extrude it along the normals as well. Now I'll just duplicate this part and move it here and just match it with the reference here. So now let's make the handle part here. I will take a cube this time and just match it with the reference here. Now select this face and extrude it up, and I will add an edge loop here. And now select this face and extrude it on the x-axis. And I will add one more edge loop here and make it straight by scaling it on the x-axis to 0. Now select this face here and extrude it down, and then select these vertices and match it with the reference. And then select these vertices and scale it on the z-axis to make it straight. Now I will add one more edge loop here. And then select these faces here and just bridge them. And now I will add an edge loop here. Just adding edge loops here and then matching it with the reference. Now select this face and extrude it. Now select these two faces here and then bridge them. Now I'll select this and scale it on the y-axis a bit. Now go on to face mode and select these faces here and extrude it on the x-axis. I will add one more edge loop in between here, and I will just move these vertices a bit. Now select the faces here and scale it on the y-axis to 0, and then go into vertex mode and just merge them. Now select the edge loop here and add a bevel to it. First I will just move this edge loop a bit inside. Now select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it. Make sure the width type is on percentage and then increase the percentage here. Now select these vertices and match it with the reference. I will select all these vertices and scale it on the x-axis a bit, and then I will just match it with the reference. I will add a subdivision modifier here using Ctrl 2. Now I'll select these vertices here and I will just slide it a bit inside. Now select these faces here and again extrude it along the normals. And now I'll just select these vertices and match it with the reference. Now select these faces here and scale it on the y-axis to 0, and then go to vertex mode and merge them. Now select this edge loop and scale it down a bit, and then apply the bevel here. Now again I will just adjust these vertices. Now I will select these vertices and scale it on the Z axis a bit, and I will do the same on this side as well. Now select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it, and select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it as well. Now we will do the same on this part as well. Just select the faces and extrude it along the normals. And then adjust the vertices according to the reference image. Now select the faces here and just scale it on the y-axis to 0 and merge them. And now select the edge loop here and scale it down a bit. And add a bevel to it. Now select this edge loop here and I will add a bevel to it as well. And I'll select these vertices and slide it down using Shift V. Now select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it. And I will just manually adjust these vertices here. Now you can see there is two vertices close to each other. So I'll just move these vertices a bit. Now select the faces here and again extrude it along the normals, and I will just adjust these vertices again. And now select this face and scale it on the y-axis to 0 and then merge them. Now select this edge loop and add a bevel to it. And I will just match these vertices according to the reference image. Now select these vertices here first. And scale them on the y-axis a bit. And now select this edge loop here. Then add a bevel to it. So when we apply the subdivision modifier, it will look like this. So let's apply the bevel to all the edges here. So this is looking good. So now let's take a cube and make that button there. Just match it with the reference. I will change the axis to local here. Now I will add edge loop here and select these vertices and move it inside. I will just scale it on the y-axis a bit. Now select these faces and bring it outside a bit. Now select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it. And select this edge loop and add a bevel to it as well. Now go on to face mode here and select these faces and then go on to edge mode by pressing 2 and add a bevel to it. Now let's make this part here. So let's take a cylinder here and rotate it to 90 degrees on the x-axis and just match it with the reference here. Now I'll select these faces and delete it. And I will delete these faces as well. Now select these edges and extrude it on the z-axis. And I will just bridge them and then select this face and extrude it down. Now I'll select this edge loop here and fill the area there. just scale the handle a bit on the y-axis. And there will be a bevel in this edge as well. So there is a little stretching going on here. So to avoid that, I will just add edge loop here. And I will just connect these vertices using J. And I will do the same on this side as well. Now take a cylinder and rotate it on the x-axis to 90 degree and place it here by matching it with the reference image. Now select this face and make an insert here, and I will make another insert and one more insert here. Now select this faces here and extrude it inside, and select this face here and extrude it inside as well. Go on to edge mode here and select this edge here, apply the scale and add a bevel to it. And I will just recalculate the normals here using Shift N. So now I will just duplicate this part and place it here and scale it down a bit. Now coming back to this part, there is a cut here, so just select this edge loop here and add a bevel to it. And go into face mode and extrude it along the normals. And here you can see some weird extrusion happened. So just select these faces here and press Ctrl plus to increase the selection here and just delete the faces there. And now I will just merge these vertices. And then select this edge here and bridge them. And instead of doing this on the other side, I will just mirror it. And I will do the same thing here as well. So that's it for the tutorial here. If this video is helpful to you, please like and share and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this. Thanks and have a nice day.